Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy. Ancestors in the Dunmer. Ghosts walk among them. The departed spirits of the Dunmeri, and perhaps those of all races, persist after death. The knowledge and power of departed ancestors benefits the bloodlines of Dunmeri houses. The bond between the living family members and immortal ancestors is partly blood, partly ritual, partly volitional. A member brought into the house through marriage binds themselves through ritual and oath into the clan, and gains communication and benefits from the clan's ancestors. However, his access to the ancestors is less than his offspring, and he retains some access to the ancestors of his own bloodline. The family shrine. Each residence has a family shrine. In poorer homes, it may be no more than a hearth or alcove where family relics are displayed and venerated. In wealthy homes, a room is set aside for the use of the ancestors. This shrine is called the Waiting Door and represents the door to oblivion. Here the family members pay their respects to their ancestors through sacrifice and prayer, through oaths sworn upon duties, and through reports on the affairs of the family. In return, the family may receive information, training, and blessings from the family's ancestors. The ancestors are thus the protectors of the home, and especially the precincts of the Waiting Door. The Ghost Fence. It is a family's most solemn duty to make sure their ancestors' remains are interred properly in a city of the dead such as Necrom. Here the spirits draw comfort from one another against the chill of the mortal world. However, as a sign of great honor and sacrifice, an ancestor may grant that part of his remains be retained to serve as part of a ghost fence, protecting the clan's shrine and family's precincts. Such an arrangement is often part of the family member's will, that a knucklebone shall be saved out of his remains and incorporated with solemn magic and ceremony into a clan ghost fence. In more exceptional cases, an entire skeleton or even a preserved corpse may be bound into a ghost fence. These remains become a beacon and focus for ancestral spirits, and for the spirit of the remains in particular. The more remains used to make a ghost fence, the more powerful the fence is, and the more powerful mortals in life have the most powerful remains. The great ghost fence created by the tribunal to hold back the blight incorporates the bones of many heroes of the temple and the house Induril and Redoran, who dedicated their spirits to the temple, and clan as their surrogate families. The ghost fence also contains bones taken from the catacombs of Necrom and the many battlefields of Morrowind. Wow, that is creepy. The mortal chill. Spirits do not like to visit the mortal world, and they do so only out of duty and obligation. Spirits tell us that the other world is more pleasant, or at least more comfortable for spirits than our real world, which is cold, bitter, and full of pain and loss. Mad spirits. Spirits that are forced to remain in our world against their will may become mad spirits, or ghosts. Some spirits are bound to this world because of some terrible circumstance of their death, or because of some powerful emotional bond to a person, place, or thing. These are called hauntings. Some spirits are captured and bound to enchanted items by wizards. If the binding is involuntary, the spirit usually goes mad. A willing spirit may or may not retain its sanity, depending on the strength of the spirit and the wisdom of the enchanter. Some spirits are bound against their wills to protect family shrines. This unpleasant fate is reserved for those who have not served the family faithfully in life. Dutiful and honorable ancestral spirits often aid in the capture and binding of wayward spirits. These spirits usually go mad and make terrifying guardians. They are ritually prevented from harming mortals of their clans, but that does not necessarily discourage them from mischievous or peevish behavior. They are exceedingly dangerous for intruders. At the same time, if an intruder can penetrate the spirit's madness and play upon the spirit's resentment of his own clan, the angry spirits may be manipulated. Oblivion. The existence of oblivion is acknowledged by all Tamriel cultures, but there is little agreement on the nature of that other world, other than that it is the place where the Aedra and Daedra live. and that communication and travel are possible between this world and Oblivion through magic and ritual. The Dunmer do not emphasize the distinction between this world and Oblivion as do the human cultures of Tamriel. They regard our world and the other world as a whole, with many paths from one end to the other, rather than two separate worlds of different natures with distinct borders. This philosophical viewpoint may account for the greater affinity of elves for magic and its practices, foreign views of Dunmeri ancestor worship and spirit magic. The Altmeri and Bosmeri cultures also venerate their ancestors, but only by respecting the orderly and blissful passage of these spirits from this world to the next. That is, wood elves and high elves believe it is cruel and unnatural to encourage the spirits of the dead to linger in our world. Even more grotesque and repugnant is the display of the bodily remains of ancestors in ghost fences and ash pits. The presentation of finger bones in a family shrine, for example, is sacrilegious to the Bosmer, who eat their dead, and barbaric to the Altmer, who inter their dead. The human cultures of Tamriel are ignorant and fearful of dark elves in their culture, considering them to be inhuman and evil like orcs and Argonians, but more sophisticated. The human population of Tamriel associate Dunmeri ancestor worship and spirit magic with necromancy. In fact, this association of the dark elves with necromancy is at least partly responsible for the dark reputation of Dunmer throughout Tamriel. This is generally an ignorant misconception, for necromancy outside the acceptable clan rituals is a most abhorrent abomination in the eyes of the Dunmer. The Dark Elves would never think of practicing sorcerous necromancy upon any Dark Elf, or upon the remains of any elf. However, Dark Elves consider the human and orcish races to be little more than animals. There is no injunction against necromancy upon such remains, or on the remains of any animal, bird, or insect. Imperial policy officially recognizes the practice of Dunmeri ancestor veneration and spirit magic as a religion, and protects their freedom to pursue such practices so long as they do not threaten the security of the Empire. Privately, most Imperial officials and traders believe Dark Elf ancestor worship and displays of remains are barbaric or even necromantic. Telvanni necromancy. The Telvanni are adept masters of necromancy. They do not, however, practice necromancy upon the remains of Dark Elves. Sane Telvanni regard such practices with loathing and righteous anger. They do practice necromancy upon the remains of animals and upon the remains of humans, orcs, and Argonians, who are technically no more than animals in Morrowind. Publisher's note. This book was written by an unknown scholar as a guide for foreign visitors to Morrowind shortly after the armistice was signed. Many of these practices have since fallen into disfavor. The most obvious changes are those regarding the practice of necromancy and the Great Ghost Fence. Dunmer today regard necromancy upon any of the accepted races as an abomination. The Ghost Fence has forced many changes in the practice of ancestor worship, with the vast majority of ancestors' remains going to strengthen the Great Ghost Fence around the mountain of Dagoth-Ur. There are very few clan ghost fences in Morrowind. The temple discourages such practices among the houses as selfish. The upkeep of family tombs and private waiting doors has also fallen into disfavor, as very few remains have been buried in these tombs and shrines since the armistice. In recent years, most Dunmer venerate a small portion of their ancestors' remains kept at a local temple. Oh, it's making me want to go play Morrowind. Necromancy? Cool. Argonia Count, Book 1, by William Jarth. In a minor but respectable plaza in the Imperial City sat, or perhaps lounged, Lord Vanek's building commission. It was an unimaginative, austere building, not noted for much for its aesthetic or architectural design, as for its prodigious length. If any critics wondered why such an unornamented, extended erection held such fascination for Lord Vanek, they kept it to themselves. In the 398th year of the Third Era, Decimus Scotti was a senior clerk at the Commission. It had been a few months since the shy, middle-aged man had brought Lord Vanek the most lucrative of all contracts, granting the Commission the exclusive right to rebuild the roads of Valenwood, which had been destroyed in the 5-Year War. For this, he had become the darling of the managers and the clerks, spending his days recounting his adventures, more or less faithfully, although he did admit the ending of the tale, since many of them had partaken in the celebratory Othraparos provided by the Silentry. Informing one's listeners that they've gorged on human flesh improves very few stories of any good taste. Scotty was neither particularly ambitious nor hard-working, so he did not mind that Lord Vanek had not given him anything to actually do. Whenever the squat little gnomish man would appear upon decking with Scotty in the offices, Lord Vanek would always say, "You're a credit to the commission, keep up the good work." In the beginning, Scotty had worried that he was supposed to be doing something, but as the months went on, he merely replied, "Thank you, I will." There was, on the other hand, the future to consider. He was not a young man, and though he was receiving a respectable salary for someone not doing actual work, Scotty considered that soon he might have to retire and not get paid for not doing work. It would be nice, he decided, if Lord Vanek, out of gratitude for the millions of gold the Valenwood contract was generating, might deign to make Scotty a partner, or at least give him a small percentage of the bounty. Decimus Scotty was no good at asking for things like that, which was one of the reasons why, previous to his signal successes in Valenwood and as a senior clerk for Lord Atreus, he was a lousy agent. He had just about made up his mind to say something to Lord Vanek when his lordship unexpectedly pushed things along. "You're a credit to the commission," the waddling little thing said, and then paused. "You have a moment free on your schedule." Scotty nodded eagerly and followed his lordship to his hideously decorated and very enviable hectare of office space. "Xanathar blesses us for your presence at the commission," the little fellow squeaked grandly. "I don't know whether you know this, but we were having a bad time before you came along. We had impressive projects, for certain, but they were not successful. In Black Marsh, for years, we've been trying to improve the roads and other routes of travel for commerce. I put my best man, Flessis Tijo, on it, but every year, despite staggering investments of time and money, the trade along those routes only gets slower and slower. Now we have your very clean, very, very profitable Valenwood contract to boost the commission's profits. I think it's time you were rewarded." Scotty grinned, a grin of great modesty and subtle avarice. "I want you to take over the Black Marsh account from Flesius Tijo." Scotty shook as if awakening from a pleasant dream to hideous reality. "My lord, I couldn't." "Nonsense," chirped Lord Vanek. "Don't worry about Tijo. He'll be happy to retire with all the money I gave him, particularly as soul-wrenchingly difficult as this Black March business has been. Just your sort of a challenge, my dear Decimus." Scotty couldn't utter a sound, though his mouth feebly formed the word "no," as Lord Vanek brought out a box of documentation on Black Marsh. "You're a fast reader," Lord Vanek guessed. "You can read it all en route." "En route to Black Marsh, of course," the tiny fellow giggled. "You are a funny chap. Where else would you go to learn about the work that's being done, and how to improve it?" The next morning, the stack of documentation hardly touched. Decimus Scotty began the journey southeast to Black Marsh. Lord Vanek had hired an able-bodied guard, a rather taciturn red guard named Malik, to protect his best agent. They rode south along the Niven, and then southeast along Silverfish, continuing on into the wilds of Cyrodiil, where the river tributaries had no names, and the very vegetation seemed to come from another world than the nice, civilized gardens of the northern imperial province. Scotty's horse was tied to Malik's, so the clerk was unable to read. It made it difficult to pay attention to the path they were taking, but Scotty knew he needed at least a cursory familiarity with the commission's business dealings in Black Marsh. It was a huge box of paperwork going back 40 years, when the commission had first been given several million in gold by a wealthy trader, Lord Zelikos Pinos Ravina, to improve the condition of the road from Gideon to Cyrodiil. At that time, it took 3 weeks, a preposterously long time, for the rice and root he was importing to arrive, half-rotten, in the imperial province. Pinos Ravina was long dead, but many other investors over the decades, including Pelagius IV himself, had hired the commission to build roads, drain swamps, construct bridges, devise anti-smuggling systems, hire mercenaries, and, in short, do everything that the greatest empire in history knew would work to aid trade with Black Marsh. According to the latest figures, the result of this was that it took 2.5 months for goods, now thoroughly rotten, to arrive. Scotty found that when he looked up after concentrating on what he was reading, the landscape had always changed. Always dramatically, always for the worse. This is Blackwood, sir, said Malik to Scotty's unspoken question. It was dark and woodsy, so Decimus Scotty thought that a very appropriate name. The question he longed to ask, which in due course he did ask, was, "What's that terrible smell?" "Slough Point, sir," Malik replied as they turned the next bend, where the umbrageous tunnel of tangled umbrageous. Umbrageous. Wow, I new word. Is that based on umbrage or umbra? Umbra as in dark tunnel or umbrage as in offensive? Or both, dark and offensive tunnel. Umbrageous, tunnel of tangled tree and vine open to a clearing. There squatted a cluster of formal buildings in the dreary imperial design favored by Lord Vannick's commission and every emperor since Tiber, together with a stench so eye-blindingly, stomach-wrenchingly awful that Scotty wondered, suddenly, if it were deathly poisonous. The swarms of blood-colored, sand-grain-sized insects obscuring the air did not improve the view. Scotty and Malik battled the buzzing clouds as they rode their horses toward the largest of the buildings, which, on approach, revealed itself to be perched at the edge of a thick black river. From its size and serious aspect, Scotty guessed it to be the Census and Excise Office for the wide, white bridge that stretched across the burbling dark water to the reeds on the other side. It was a very nice, bright, sturdy-looking bridge, built, Scotty knew, by his commission. Poxy, irritable official, opened the door quickly on Scotty's first knock. Come in, quickly! Don't let the flesh flies in." "Flesh flies?" Decimus Scotty trembled. "You mean they eat human flesh?" "If you're fool enough to stand around and let them," the soldier said, rolling his eyes. He had half an ear, and Scotty, looking around at the other soldiers in the fort, noted that they were all well chewed. One of them had no nose at all to speak of. "Now, what's your business?" Scotty told them, and added that if they stood outside the fortress instead of inside, they might catch more smugglers. "You better be more concerned with getting across that bridge," the soldier sneered. "Tide's coming up, and if you don't get a move on, you won't get to Blackmarsh for 4 days." That was absurd. A bridge swamped by a rising tide on a river? Only the look on the soldier's eyes told Scotty he wasn't joking. Upon stepping out of the fort, he saw that the horses, evidently tired of being tortured by the flesh flies, had ripped free of their restraints and were bounding off into the woods. The oily water at the river was already lapping into planks, oozing between the crevices. Scotty reflected that perhaps he would be more than willing to endure a wait of 4 days before going to Blackmarsh. But Malik was already running across. Scotty followed him, wheezing. He was not in excellent shape, and never had been. The box of commissioned materials was heavy. Halfway across, he paused to catch his breath, and then discovered he could not move. His feet were stuck. The black mud that ran through the river was a thick, gluey paste, and having washed over the plank Scotty was on, it held his feet fast. Panic seizing him, Scotty looked up from his trap and saw Malik leaping from plank to plank ahead of him, closing fast on the reeds on the other side. "Help!" Scotty cried. "I'm stuck!" Malik did not even turn around, but kept jumping. "I know, sir! You need to lose weight!" Decimus Scotty knew he was a few pounds over, and had meant to start eating less and exercising more, but embarking on a diet hardly seemed to promise timely aid in his current predicament. No diet on Nirn would have helped him just then. However, on reflection, Scotty realized that the Red Guard intended that he drop the box of documents, for Malik was no longer carrying any of the essential supplies he had had with him previously. With a sigh, Scotty threw the box of commissioned notes into the glop and felt the plank under him rise 1/4 of an inch, just enough to free him from the mud's clutches. With an agility born of extreme fear, Scotty began leaping after Malik, dropping onto every third plank and springing up before the river gripped him. In 46 leaps, Decimus Scotty crashed through the reeds into the solid ground behind Malik and found himself in Blackmarsh. He could hear behind him a sloping sound as the bridge and its container of important and official records of commissioned affairs was consumed by the rising flood of dark filth, never to be seen again. Alright, a couple of unpleasant quests to do for Icky Daedra. House of Horrors. Let's do that one. Yep, see, Return to Lotoria, see what she's discovered has automatically updated and
There it is
highlighted
again,
itself.
that fucking smile. I'll never get enough of it.
I don't see you, but I love you. Now, I just realized, while playing my other game, that I don't have to keep accepting the blessings of the stones. I can just discover the stones for the, click on them, but then not accept the blessing. Then I don't have to keep going back to the Stone of the Lover, even though I like it and it's pretty. But, yep, I'm still learning. This is all making me want to play Morrowind and then Oblivion and then go back to Elder Scrolls Online. But I've got Veilguard on Halloween. And I will disappear into that for a while, I believe. One would hope. I have been a fan of that franchise since the day it released. Dragon Age Origins.
Let's fucking do it.
I've played each version of the game scores of times. And I'm excited. And I'm using iron arrows.
No move
again.
for this people.
Good in hell, Ambar. So many games to play. So few months. I've never played The Witcher. I have tried to, but I don't like playing male protagonists in thoroughly dark circumstances. So that's why Red Dead Redemption has also not appealed to me. But
you're in prison for a while.
I kind of hated Mass Effect for a while too, until I made myself go play it. So part of me is considering making myself play certain games. But if we were to do all this stuff, that would probably take about 2 years. That's okay. I'll still be around 2 years. She said, hopefully.
Well, I can't sneak for shite, and me knees hit me right now, but fuck if the rest of me isn't loving the view.
That wasn't the right way. Yep. I went right back to the beginning. Good job, sweetheart.
Did I just see something in the shadows? Was my eyes playing tricks on me?
No, can you tell me which shadows?
Alright, Kai. You've got this. Focus. You're being sneaky. You are not sneaky peeky. Shit. Too
I
late.
already read that.
Damn, that's a nice view though. Why are we sneaking? I'm sorry. I'll shut it now. Why are we sneaking?
You will not walk away alive when my blade is unsheathed. Fall to my blade!
The way you look after a fight, all wild and so fucking alive. Gods, I need to kiss you. Right the fuck now.
Yeah. And we're seeing the reason why here. I mean, these forts are huge. Partly why I like hate the Civil War thing. You go to so many forts, you clear so many forts out. It's like clearing out the Oblivion gates in, well, Oblivion. It's just, can we do something else now, please? I'm bored and lost.
Is someone there?
Yes?
What was that? It's nothing.
It's something.
Now you're mine.
You've got nothing on the Dragonborn! You want to do this the hard way? Fine.
Hey, sweetheart.
You are dead!
Don't wanna wake up whatever's in here.
So yeah, weirdly, I will probably become Molag Bal's champion, and I will probably end up helping Boethia. Well, yeah, I will, but I will not do the Civil War. It is a gift I give to myself. It's weird that they talk to you even though technically they can't see you. Yeah, watch the traps. Yeah, well, I pickpocket
What was
you.
that? Right.
Oh, I wanted to pickpocket your heart, man.
You're dead!
That would have been cool.
Good riddance.
You there? Are you here to kill me? Slay the mighty Lowgrove while he sits tied and helpless.
I'm here to rescue you.
Rescue? No one knew where I was when I was taken. Who sent you?
Boethia sent me.
The Dark Mistress? She sent you? Oh, wait. Mulekbal's altar. Of course.
Of course.
I have to get to Markarth at once. Cut me loose.
Yeah, okay. Here, let me untie you.
Oh, freedom. Now get out of my way. I have a task to attend to.
You know, it's kind of easy to kill some people. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to avoid
It's
that.
dark in here.
Oops.
Watch your step.
Okay, Kaidan. Should have avoided the glowing bit, right? Why are enemies near? What enemies? There was a shard around here, right? Yeah. See if I can get to it. Boing. Let's see right. Boing. Much boing. Oh wow. Supposed to come around the back here. Scary boing. Okay. Alright. I do hear someone bitching in the background. Don't know who. There isn't any red dot at the moment though, so maybe there's no aggro at the moment. Nope. Okay, lone. Yeah, I'm gonna fall off. Never mind. I'm on the road now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm fucking
You.
I'm
My
ending
bow's
this
better
right
than yours.
now!
Oh, kitty on my lap again. Hey, sweetheart. Come on. It's okay. I don't like Mulekbal.
I saw them dragging you off. Gods, I couldn't risk angering the guards. Risk making it worse for you.
It's alright,
You were in prison for a while. I wanted you back safe in my arms. I wasn't sure what. Are you alright, love?
I'm sorry, baby. Perfectly fine. What's one more scar or bruise? Adds character. Oh, I like this one. I think so. I missed you terribly, Kai. It was awful in there.
I'm relieved to hear that, little dragon. I don't think I could bear if anything happened to you, and I wasn't there. Speaking of, what went on inside Sidna?
I didn't do either of these things. I ended up siding with Madneck and the Forsworn.
You sided with the Forsworn?
It was lesser of two evils.
Fair enough. With Thanar dead, it'll be nice to see less corruption in the city. Now, shall we move on, love, before more trouble finds us?
Any thoughts?
Ah, it's nothing. Don't you ever mind that.
I am so sorry the game asks me to ask you when you've got nothing to say. Okay, I have removed handicrafting. I'm, why don't I have any gloves on, guys? What? Oh, I never put my gear back. Okay. I removed handicrafting. It was just not working well for me. Instead, I have a mod called Colored Bags. I can manually put things in and take them out. But since I'm past my alchemy stage, so it looks like this. Usual bag of violet. Now you can drop these too in the world, but I just carry one in my inventory. So I put things, usually items from mods, inside. So for me, right now, that's Vanity Mirror from Live Another Life, Ring of the Fashion Designer, so that I can change people's clothes, and something like a juvenile mud crab, which I know I'm going to need for a quest, things like that. So that's what I used to do. I'm going to go back to doing that. It takes less scripting, it gives me less notification spam, and it's the handicrafting that's supposed to pull things out and put things back in is giving me too many notifications and also isn't doing its job. So I'm going to disable it. Let's hope I have not destroyed my game, because that'd be awesome. I think all I needed to do, which is what I did, was take everything out, save, remove the mod, reload. So we'll see.
Oleg Paul, you think you can best Boethiah's faithful? I have won this contest before.
Ah, but I have my own champion this time, Logrolf.
What? You?
Mortal, I give you my mace in all its rusted spitefulness. Crush the spirit from Logrolf's bones, make him bend to me.
Come on now. Oh, I'm already holding it. Okay. This is a weird fight.
Hey, be careful!
Be careful.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Once more, and I'm gonna have to kill you.
I don't have any mace skill.
What are you doing?
You can see this guy is like regenerating faster.
What are you doing? Not gonna warn you again. I'll never submit. I won't bend. Never. I won't bend. Never.
You want some
I
more?
won't bend. Never. Never submit. I'll never submit. Do your worst, monster. Do your worst, monster. I'll never submit. I'll never submit.
You will fall to our blades.
You mortals and your frail,
Oh my God.
limp, pathetic bodies. Try it again.
Hey, be careful! Stop that! What are you doing? What are you doing?
You want to do this the hard way?
Doing?
Fine.
You get an example of,
Doing?
you know, how higher difficulties can really suck on things that you're bad at. I'm getting one-handed skill.
Oh, that.
But I can tell. I mean, my arm's tired.
Swing!
It's like when I watch like all the show, like murder shows
Swing!
about people getting like beaten or killed, and like that looks like so much work. Oh my God, my hand is tired.
Surrender! Call that.
There's a mod for
Swing!
Skyrim called Paradise Halls,
Pay for
which I've
this!
tried, that has like slavery.
I won't surrender! No more.
I'll make
No
sure
more.
But it requires that you like
I
beat your
submit.
slaves,
You
and like after 5
bend to
minutes of that, I'm
me.
like, yeah, this is. I'm bored.
Yes.
I don't want to whip
You
anybody.
pledge your soul to me.
Yes.
You forsake the weak and pitiful Boethia.
Kaidan.
I don't know what I'd fucking do if I ever lost you.
You're mine now, Logrolf. Kill him.
Okay.
The mace of Molag Bal. I give you its true power, mortal. When your enemies lie broken and bloody before you, know that I will be watching.
A mace? This is hardly a fitting.
Know your place, mortal.
You're
Or
stuck in the
Molag
basement,
Bal
man.
may
What
just
did it do?
send another champion to
Oh,
claim his
no.
mace
Go
from
ahead.
your broken corpse.
Go ahead.
Now, I have a soul in oblivion to claim. Take care of the house while I'm gone.
I don't think this house, I don't think you can fix it up in any way.
I can't believe you actually did it.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Because completionist. I'm sorry. I am. And you're not gonna like many of the things I do. Probably should have left him at home for that, huh?
Hey, sweetheart.
You're over it now? Okay. Well, thank you.
All right.
Yeah. I took the Daedric weapon. He doesn't like it, and that's okay.
Here, I have a gift for you. A dragon's tongue for my beautiful dragon.
Thank you, love. Okay.
What's next?
Phew. Hello, Rocky. Oh, I have to add you to my list of animals to pet. Just because I desperately need to pet a kitten right about now. Okay, honey. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta go do.
I swear, if I hear a god say one more...
Alright, Kaidan, you're not gonna like this either, but let's go It's an Amira, right? A bunch of cannibals. And Markarth is such an icky place. Forsworn, corrupt government, cannibal cult, Molag Bal's house. I wish there were options, like I can't ever bring myself to kill the guy in Vermina's quest, just because it's so obvious that he's, you know, it's just it's a fairly badly constructed quest, and I'm so antagonized by the end of it that when Vermina is like, he's lying to you, no he's not, you're lying to me. Oh, fuck you.
I'm going to enjoy it.
Motherfuckers! Screw you!
Dur? Zavrul!
Some of them are constructed in a way that I don't want to finish them. So I don't think with Winter Sun that I will, even though you have finished the quest, if you don't side with them, you don't get the altar, so I believe. So I was not going to get Vermina's altar in the Winter Sun.
You've come. The Draugr infesting the Mirror Sanctuary are inside. Then I'll wait.
Eola is a pretty good bad guy follower. So you can come and do Eola's quest pretty early and get her. She is clearly morally ambiguous. With Cold Sun's remake, she looks pretty good. I don't particularly care for the cannibal crew, but I also, when you play the quest through, the priest of Arche that you're supposed to bring with you is not that great of a human being either. And easily bribable. If you were more virtuous, it's sort of the same. Is it who is? I keep thinking Eric her, but is it Arander? Whoever the priest of Mara is in Dawnstar, he is trying, and the only way to resolve that quest a different way than his is to believe Vermina's lies. This is like, go bribe someone to show up. Okay. Playing on their own avarice. I'm not saying it's a justification. I'm saying this quest is easier to do than Vermina's, practically. There's also always someone in the world that you can sacrifice to Boethia. So I don't have much of an issue with Boethia's quest either. I'm happy to find someone horrible and get an achievement for it. If you really are looking to be very virtuous, you miss about 3/4 of the content in the game. It's nice that the legacy of the Dragonborn guys are essentially moral. They're decent guys. Okay. They're decent people going after good things, and they are not morally ambiguous. I imagine they stay out of your way if you are morally ambiguous. No. Don't jump while sneaking, folks. I don't care enough to go get it. I like the way they did show Gorath's quest, but I don't know if you get an altar to him either. I really don't. I haven't filled in the full Winter Sun section. Sorry, Kaidan. So Saleya is not particularly ethical. She's very
You've done it.
goal-oriented.
The shrine is ours again. Now we need to prepare a grand feast to welcome you to Namira's coven. You will have the honor of bringing a fresh kill for the main course, and I know the perfect person.
Who is it?
A priest filled with the taste of an easy life, Brother Verilus from Markarth. Give him this gold. Tell him you need Arcae's help exploring an old cavern for treasure. And when he stands in Namira's presence, she will take care of the rest. Say hello to Verilus for me.
So Bethesda doesn't really give you many alternate options. You are forced in several places to make choices or simply not complete the quest. You're not given alternative options, really. So my playstyle for this is very different from others, which is why I'm not attempting to roleplay. Because when you roleplay in this, you are forced to do good by certain factions and forced to do evil by others, and the only thing that you can do is play through the quest, find out what the outcome is, and then choose whether or not to do it or hide it, or it's very much like Sadia's quest. You can't refuse to accept it. You are force greeted in Whiterun by Kamatu's guys.
Oh,
Well, where am I?
worked up a sweat in this armor.
Where am I going? Oh, I have to convince Verilus to follow me. So
What's going on here?
It's very difficult to, it is more of a sandbox game than a role-play game, because they didn't really give you lots of options. You have to complete quests a certain way.
Good day, friend. Keeping well? Even the dead need company. That's what RK provides.
Creepy. I've need of a priest in my travels.
You are looking for RK's protection while you delve some dank tomb, I take it? My duties keep me busy in Markarth. I don't know if I can help you.
There would be treasure to share.
Treasure, you say? I suppose the Jarl won't mind if I'm gone for a little while. Lead on.
All these dead bodies make for poor company.
Yeah. So, although, yeah, I think I'm going to drop Kaidan off for this. Well, no. He's gonna know anyway. So, practically... He's already seen Molag Bal. What I can do is ask him to set up a tent here.
That's my girl.
About surviving out here.
Aye? What about it?
I'm exhausted.
Aye, we ought to make camp.
Could you set up a campsite?
I'll pitch a tent for you anytime, sweetheart.
Thank you, baby. Can you set up a large tent?
As you wish.
Okay, he will stay here.
It's beautiful.
Sure. He didn't set up a tent. Okay. Well then.
Well, here I am. Roguishly handsome and at your service.
I'm trying to
What do you
protect you,
need?
sweetheart. Can you pack up the
Sure
campsite?
thing.
Okay, I'll just ask him to wait here. Not that he wouldn't be able to figure out, but I won't make him witness this. I
Aye.
should have done the same thing with Molag Bal. Wait here.
I'll watch the surroundings.
Thank you, love. I guess also, I mean, Verilis' death is pretty quick, right? You die fast, it doesn't, I mean, I don't know. Some things I can do, some things I can't. Or won't. I don't think I've ever sacrificed the guy in Dawnstar. And I have trouble sustaining purely evil run-throughs. Okay, you're empty anyway. I auto-looted you.
Iola's a fine host. She really keeps the faithful together.
I'm just glad we had this now. I was almost getting ready to eat my servant and blame it on the Forsworn.
Oh my god. Carlos?
Bring Verilis here, the Lady of Decay.
Oh my god, okay. Thank you. I mean, don't be late to your own...
Who are you? What's going on?
Priest of RK. I'm your
I'm
friend.
so glad Ayola invited you to dinner.
Friend.
Yes, I'm your friend, and I've invited you to dinner.
I've been invited to dinner. I'm so hungry.
Why don't you lay down and rest while we get the meal ready?
I need to lay down. I'll just be a minute.
Come
I
on.
remember my
Our
first
feast is
feast.
about to begin.
I envy you.
The meal is on Namira's
I mean,
table.
yeah,
Go
I mean,
ahead.
yeah.
Carve.
Okay.
He looks so sweet. Go ahead. Have the first bite.
I am a Bosmer, so I do this all the time.
Mortal, I am Namira, the Lady of Decay. Your consumption of the blood and bile of Arkay's own is pleasing to me.
That's some major twitching.
I give you my ring. Wear it, and when you feast on the flesh of the dead, I will grant you my power.
Okay. Thank you, my lady.
Wallow in your wretchedness, my newest champion.
Okay.
I knew when you walked into the
host.
Hall of the
She really
Dead
keeps the
that you were
faithful together.
special.
I'm just glad we had this now. I was
Thank you,
almost getting
Iola.
ready to eat my servant and blame it on the Forsworn.
It's an honor,
Okay.
Keeper of the Rings.
You were given Namira's ring?
So
A great honor.
she's from Arnleif and Sons. The other guy, like, sells, at meat, freshest in all the reach. Yeah, so I don't think there's an alternate way out. But as we're doing everything we can do, I mean, you could take Iola's quest and then kill Iola. You can kill her immediately and not do the content, but, forgive my practicality. Oh, okay. And, okay, if I port to the entrance, I can pick up Kaidan again. Okay. Yeah, hi.
I'm at your service.
Follow me.
Aye, this isn't a place to linger.
I agree. This is some distasteful shit. That's a pun, huh? Alright. Oh, I'm right here. There's...
It's like this, it feels good to be out of the city, away from people.
Yeah, it does. Especially from people eating people. What? Nothing? Ugh. Oy. Wonder if I have to go. Which one, Ari? Bless you.
Reachwind Eyrie. This Dwemer Tower looks interesting. Do you think there's any treasure there? Let's check it out.
Hey, Victoria.
Latoria greets you.
Discover anything interesting?
With so many books you gave her, Latoria was able to discover a few things. Here, take a look. What can Latoria do for you, Guildmaster?
Okay.
Sun and moon guide you.
Yeah, I can't, I can't actually use that site while she is using it.
Was a woman as fair as an evening of springtime in Ostros. Ah!
Fair. I'm absolutely shite at this, so apologies in advance.
Okay, I think that was Creation Club content. Usually when you get a full set of armor. So yeah, that was something we picked up at the Silver Blood Inn.
Ah, nice one. Shit.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
It's okay, baby. Alright. Okay, yeah, the courier hasn't come back to me. Kara, I believe, is in the hold. Thelmore are gone. So I need to look this up. The quest giver is Hamal. I guess, yeah, I've never done this. She's in the inner sanctum, and as far as I know, you have to, like, pick your way in. Alright, let's go give it a try. I have never found the Sybil for Dibella. And although Saleya is technically Dibella's daughter, Dibella was much more of an absent mother. Sheogorath tried, but he's Sheogorath, so that's some seriously unstable parenting. So she is accustomed to the unstable and the absent. She's fairly convinced at this point in her... Oh, let's see if Degane is down here. He's usually... What time is it? Yeah, okay. I can steal the statue at the same time.
Holmes.
How do you do
I
things?
said, Holmes, you backbiter. Give a crippled worker a helping hand.
want a cut of venison or
Did you
mutton?
say something about money?
Of course you do.
Aye, a whole heap of it. You see that temple way up there? All them women keeping to themselves won't let poor Degain in, nope. Not even for a look. But they've got a treasure in there. Gold statue size of a child. Who knows what they use it for, but I know what I'll use it for.
I suggest you do the same, little dragon.
Well, let's not put it like that. Wouldn't want the Thieves Guild catching wind of us, eh? Nah, just creep in and have a go at taking it out. I'll be here and pay you half of what my man in Riften promised for it. You'll be helping out an old beggar, and the divine smile on that sort of thing.
Who are you? You look really good. Roki.
What can I do for you?
Hey, Roki. I like your jewelry, and I like your armbands. Even though one's clipping now. I like your bracelets. Good.
The bloodiest beef in the reach.
Yeah, he's a cannibal. Yeah, I have, out of respect.
I think I know why they wouldn't let him in. Oh my god, my nose needs a healer.
This is why I bring you along, sweetheart. I know I offend you. I'll tell you what, next time we play, I will be the goodest girl, okay?
I'm sorry, the Temple of Dibella is closed. You can receive your blessing if you wish, but the other sisters are in seclusion.
Who's Dibella? This is her temple?
A heathen. Lovely. Oh, don't put on that angry look. I'm just teasing you. Dibella
That's
is the
okay.
divine of beauty. She is a patron deity to artists and bards and those who seek life's simple pleasures. The temple offers her blessings to pilgrims, and instruction in enjoying all life has to offer.
Instruction? Where do I sign up?
Well, you are lovely to look at, and there's so many things I could teach you, but I'm afraid the temple isn't taking in new students.
Why is the temple closed?
The sisters are communing with Dibella. They can't be disturbed. You'll have to come back another time.
Yeah, this, I don't understand. So I always sneak back here, steal the statue, if I do it at all. Because why help to gain, if you can just hide the quest and ignore him? I don't know how to pick up the quest. So, I'm going to, I always successfully stealth or save. I'm going to try speaking.
Look, this is ridiculous. I'm not stealthy.
I know, baby, and you say silly things, but sometimes you say awesome things.
Dibella, guide us.
Well, I think there's a bit more than just praying goes on here, eh?
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna steal the statue and
Lead
then
us to your Sybil.
I'm gonna speak to Hamal. I've always assumed that they don't like you being in here, you know? Alright, I'm gonna save and see what happens if I come out of stealth and actually talk to Hamal.
Why the fuck are you lugging all that shit around with you? Maybe you could lighten the load and sell some of it.
And just what do you think you're doing?
I was curious about the temple.
Unfortunately for you, we don't allow the uninitiated into the inner sanctum. You have committed a breach and must pay the penalty.
What's the penalty?
Normally, a period of servitude. Luckily for you, there are more pressing matters. We could make an example of you, but
yeah, I've
perhaps
never
you
let
could be
myself
put
get
to
caught
better
in
use.
here. What use is that?
The ceremony you so rudely interrupted was the
Wow.
exalted protocol of the Dibellan Sybil.
Okay, so we
I don't
learned
expect
something.
you to know what that means. Suffice to say that our Sibyl was recently lost to us. Through the protocol, we have seen the home of the next Sibyl, to the north in a small village pressed against the stone. If you can travel there and retrieve our young Sibyl, your transgression will be forgiven.
Yay! I'll undertake this penance. Where is the village?
We believe the place in our vision to be Karthwasten. Now move quickly. The girl must be brought to the temple as soon as possible.
Oh, okay. They took the statue. All right. That's all right. I didn't have to help Kaidan anyway. What is a Sibyl?
The Sibyl of Dibella spends her entire life in direct communion with the goddess. From the time she's a little girl to the moment she expires, she is a direct connection with the Heavenly Mother. From her reverie, we know the mind of our God. We have had a vision of the next Sibyl, living in a village to the north. She must be brought to the temple for her reverie to begin.
Why is this all such a secret?
We prefer not to announce that the Sibyl has died until we can introduce the new one. People like to know that we're connected to the goddess.
The girl is just taken from her family?
It's considered a great honor for the family. Their daughter will never know hardship, and the goddess blesses them with great bounty.
Okay.
Until next time.
Never done this content. Always been law-abiding. Even my evil folks.
That statue has your... Oh, never mind.
Alright, let me out. Okay, so I suppose if you want to do the quest for Kaidan, and why would you? You can sneak in, steal the statue, and then sneak in again. And, what? Oh, okay.
What can I do for you?
And then... Look, it's got like pink mist in here. Huh. And then sneak it again and get caught. But why would I want to help Kaidan? I mean, like, ever. As anybody. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.